Well, student, today we are going to learn about adjective clause. Here is the outline that we would like to discuss. The first is definition of adjective clause. The second one, adjective clause based on semantic function. And the third one, adjective clause based on the structure. So the first, what is adjective clause? Adjective clause usually comes after the noun it modifies and is made of several words like a subject and a verb. Adjective clause usually begins with a relative pronoun, a relative adverb, or a zero article. Now, we move to semantic function. Based on semantic function, adjective clause is divided into two kinds. The first is restrictive and the second one non-restrictive. Here is the explanation. In restrictive adjective clause, it happens when it narrows down the word it modifies. It tells which one of the noun you are writing about. A restrictive adjective clause is necessary to the meaning of the sentence. It is not separated from the rest of the sentence by commas. Please look at the example and the highlighted words. That's the example of adjective clause. The players who are wearing the red uniforms are winning the game. Next, for non-restrictive adjective clause, it happens if we know exactly who is being written about without it. A non-restrictive adjective clause is simply adding extra information. Non-restrictive adjective clauses need commas around them. Please look at the example. Those girls who have been friends for years are all going to the same college. Can you guess which one adjective clause? That's right. Commas who have been friends for years and then commas are adjective clause. Next, we will learn again about adjective clause based on its structure. It has three forms. The first is finite, the second one non-finite, and the last one verbless. Infinite adjective clause, we can call it as a relative clause. It is subordinate clauses introduced by relative pronoun who, whom, whose, which. Relative clause can be in the form of restrictive clause and non-restrictive clause. Here are the examples in different syntax. The first function as a subject. Drivers that exceed the speed limit are reckless. As an object, that's the teacher who the most students admire. As a prepositional complement. I met a girl with whom I used to work. As a determinative possessive, India grant divorce to a man whose wife only within laws. The next one, we can see the example of relative clause in non-restrictive clause. Here are the examples. The first one, as a subject. J.K. Rowling wrote the Harry Potter series, is now 51 years old. As an object, the Harry Potter series, which J.K. Rowling wrote, comprises 7 novels. As prepositional complement, the White House, in which the American president resides, is located in Washington, D.C. As a determinative possessive, Ferrari Enzo, whose top speed exceeds 349 kilometers per hour was named after the company founder. Okay, students, now we move to non-finite adjective clauses. It has several forms. Here is the explanation. As adjectival imparticiple subordinate clauses, please look at the highlighted words because it is what we call as non-finite adjective clause. The girl sitting in the corner is my sister. In adjectival passive participle subordinate clauses, and the example is, the book written by Asep will be published soon. In adjectival to infinitive clauses, the example is, you are the one to spend my life with. In non-restrictive modification by non-finite clause, the example is, the Harry Potter series, written by J.K. Rowling, was first released on June 26, 1997. And the last one, you will see verbless adjective clause. It happens when the verb in subordinate clause that post-modifies the noun phrase are ellipse. The example is, I am always fond of a room full of colors. Okay, students, that's the end of our lesson. Have a nice learning and see you.